Valentina Gomez's racist rant shredded by Piers Morgan panel. Yeah, let's go ahead and react to this. This woman right here is Valentina Gomez. She's a conservative, she's a Republican, and she's incredibly anti-immigrant and anti-Muslim. The anti-immigrant part is especially interesting because much like a lot of these raccoons or these sellouts, of course she's not black, so not technically a raccoon, but she's a sellout, she's a weirdo. She's an immigrant herself, immigrated from Colombia. English is her second language, and yet she is incredibly anti-immigrant. But she's also incredibly racist as well. So let's go ahead and see what happens here.
As you were laughing as you were listening there, many people have not been laughing at your video, particularly at phrases like "vote for me so we can kick every dirty Muslim out of Texas." If you had a Muslim candidate in Texas saying "vote for me so we can kick every dirty Christian out of Texas," you would rightly, I imagine, be outraged at that. Why do you think it's acceptable to use a phrase like "so we can kick every dirty Muslim out of Texas"?
Good morning, Piers.
That's how you know she's stupid, bro, because her mouth is just fucking open the whole time. Like, look at Piers is talking to her, and she's just like, she's a mouth breather, bro.
Phrase like "so we can kick every dirty Muslim out of Texas."
She's stupid.
Good morning, Piers. And since you didn't have the decency of introducing me correctly, I'll happily do it. Good morning to all of my beautiful people in England. Hello to all of my lads in the UK. Last time I was there, I had an amazing time. I'm Valentina Gomez. I will be the next congresswoman for the state of Texas, and I'm a warrior of the one true King Jesus Christ.
No, she lost, by the way. She did not get elected.
And England and Piers, the United States and England was built by white Christian men that follow Jesus Christ, not by a bunch of Mohammeds. So
no, it's not. Much like a lot of these other Republicans, these conservatives, they don't know American history. Several of the founding fathers were not Christian. In fact, several of them were anti-Christian and anti-religious. Several of them were deists and did not believe in the religion of Christianity. And even of the ones that would call themselves Christian, many of them were not traditional Christians. And so this is completely false. And the United States Constitution, there are also treaties that have been signed by and ratified by Congress that explicitly declare that in no way is religion supposed to be associated with the government in America.
Let's get that cleared out right away.
Right. You haven't answered my question. Why do you, if it was the other way around, you would be rightly outraged. Why do you think it's acceptable as somebody running for office in the United States to be so blatantly... Why would you be so...
Because she's just pandering to her racist conservative base. That's all it is.
Blatantly hateful towards one group of people.
You
no principles.
Call it hateful and bigotry and racist and all of that garbage. I call it the truth. America is a Christian nation. These Muslims come to Christian nations, burn our churches, rape our women.
When has that happened in America? Where? Show me the church that has been burnt down by a bunch of Muslims.
Shoot our American soldiers point blank, killing one of them in broad daylight, then chanting Allahu Akbar. Piers, my brother is a National Guardsman.
Okay, and what about the KKK? What about all of the fucking Christian psychopaths that go and shoot people? This is such a bullshit argument.
Actually puts himself on the line for this nation. So yes, these dirty Muslims have no place in America and have no place in England.
But as you speak, you see, I'm just seeing a brazen Islamophobe. And people say that phrase doesn't exist. It doesn't. And I'm sure you find it funny, but I think you can make perfectly pertinent points about what's happened here without descending into such vile hatred towards an entire religion. And there are 5
Close your fucking mouth. God damn.
Muslims in the United States. Why would you want to categorize them in such a grotesque manner?
Oh, and those 5 million Muslims should definitely go back to their 56 Muslim nations. And let's get something very clear right now in your little show, Piers. I don't fear the groomers. I don't fear the pedophiles. I don't fear the corrupt politicians. And I definitely do not fear the dirty Muslims.
That's why you support Trump, who has literally been like fucking doing everything possible to hide the Jeffrey Epstein files and make sure that those files don't come out. Shut the fuck up.
Let me bring in...
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
No.
I mean, just, we should be clear about the fact. I mean, sure, Valentina is just a bigot, plain and simple, engages in the worst kinds of bigotry imaginable. But it's worth noting that she's fundamentally un-American, because the American Constitution says that you cannot discriminate against people based on religion. That is pretty clear. And so she's engaging in an anti-American campaign in the name of protecting America, which is just...
She's never read the Constitution. She just fucking tweeted a bunch of crazy shit on Twitter, got some followers, and thought to herself, I bet you I could run for public office.
Irony beyond imagination. So yes, she's a charlatan. She doesn't know what she's talking about. You can tell by looking at her that her IQ hovers around room temperature. To me, the real scandal is not engaging with her directly, because she's beneath taking seriously. But the problem is with the GOP, that you have a major party in this country having a candidate running under its flagship, engaging in this kind of really incredibly hateful, incendiary rhetoric, and they do nothing about it. We've seen it with the dissent with Donald Trump himself, with the lawlessness that he has brought to the table and the corruption that he's allowed to get away with.
The Republican Party has descended into just a level of fucking ridiculousness that I don't think anybody saw coming. I mean, people have known for a long time that the conservative side of the political fence is racist and bigoted, but I don't think anybody saw this shit coming, right? That Republican candidates and politicians would just be so openly and brazenly racist.
Without the party really standing up and putting country before party and before president. And you can see that slippery slope now leading to this level, where you have just a complete hateful clown like this person representing that party without the party objecting to it.
Yeah, you know what?
Leading us towards a very, very dark place in this country.
I actually completely.
All right.
I completely agree with you. There are perfectly legitimate.
No, Piers. And to
well,
the
I
other
do.
Muslim,
I actually do agree with him. I think your brazen bigotry is obvious.
Let's make something very clear, Piers.
Yeah.
I only discriminate against terrorists. These terrorists have no place in America. They have no place in the world. And the best type of terrorist is a dead terrorist. And let's look at your Quran. Your Quran 8:12 states to terrorize and behead those who believe in scriptures other than the Quran. And that Afghani, that dirty Muslim that killed Sarah Beckstrom.
It doesn't actually say that, and this is the problem.
All right, let me bring in Kasim Rashid. Welcome to Uncensored. If you'd like to say what you want to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, I co-sign everything Omar said there. And I think fundamentally this is where we are as a country, where rather than talking about real serious issues, we have these firebrands. I think she ran in Missouri, got 7%, moved to Texas to try to lose there as well. Look, the reality is that, we need to look at the facts here. And the facts tell us that immigration is a net positive in every single way to this country.
1,000%.
The facts tell us, a Northwestern University study of the last 150 years found that at no point in American history have immigrants had a higher crime rate than born U.S. citizens. We're talking about Somalia, and we're talking about Minnesota. Well, Minnesota is the 4th best state in the country to start a business and to live and to work. It's the 15th safest state in the country as well. And so, the difference here is that we want the constitutional principles.
You have to understand, if you were born in America, you think to yourself, you get into a fight, you know what I'm saying? You commit a felony, you go to jail, right? If you're an immigrant, you're going to get deported. And so you have more incentive to actually obey the law as an immigrant.
Due process of law.
Even more so now when we have fucking ICE running around deporting people who aren't even committing crimes, violent crimes or felonies. They're just here. Maybe they're here undocumented, but we also know that they're also detaining documented immigrants, naturalized immigrants, people who are actually American citizens. And so, yeah, man, when you're an immigrant, even once you get your citizenship, you still move with like a level of, I don't even know about these people, man. They might start moving funny. So let me just chill, bro.
And this, this idea that we're a Christian nation is contradicted by the founders of this country itself. We are actually a secular democratic republic where people can believe or not believe as they wish without oppression. And I think it's critically important that whatever our, political differences, we stand united on this basic principle that human dignity, human rights, religious freedom.
Yeah, man. She's just the worst kind of white supremacist fucking lapdog glazer, just suck up pick me. Because An immigrant does something, oh, we need to get all of these immigrants out of here. One immigrant does something, one Muslim does something, one brown person, one black person does something, the whole group gets demonized. But of course, when a white man does something, when a Christian does something, oh, well, they're just a bad apple. It is not reflective of the entire group.
Must be protected, even for those with whom I disagree, because at the end of the day, that's what the First Amendment requires. That's what the Constitution requires. If we lose that principle, then we deteriorate into fascism and anarchy, and I don't think anybody wants that.
The good news is I don't think we have to endure this level of fucking just idiocy for much longer. I think once the era of Trump is over, I think this is going to go away with it. Because they're just becoming so increasingly ridiculous. It's going to get to a point where even just like a tame, mild racist who probably has some anti-immigrant or anti-black sentiments, but they go to work with black people, they go to work with Mexicans, and they're like, yeah, I don't want you to fucking be shot in the head just because you're brown. You know, I like this guy. You know, like even them, they're going to look at the Republican Party as it continues to descend into more and more ridiculousness, and they're gonna be like, yeah, I don't know about this shit, man. And that's what's happening, man. And that's why we see so many people turning. They're turning on MAGA. They're trying to find something else. They're going to America first. It's gonna give them all the same problems over there. You know, they're about to lose the next presidential election if it's free and fair. And so, you know what I'm saying? I think this shit about to just like go away, and hopefully it doesn't come back anytime soon, man. Hopefully it doesn't come back anytime soon. History tends to repeat itself, though. So it probably will come back at some point in another form. But yeah, man, I can't believe that people like this, they're having the opportunity to go on major platforms like Piers Morgan's show and talk politics with people who are actually educated in politics, people with degrees, people who have experience working in the government. Now you just got to say some crazy shit on Twitter and bada boom, bada bang, you're on Fox News. It's insane. But y'all let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below, man. Thank you for watching. And until next time, peace out.